Welcome everyone, it's Mrs. Hutton here. This will be our first assembly in a series of assemblies that we're going to do for you this half term. And this assembly is going to focus on the British value of individual liberty. Now, this is one we haven't discussed in school up until this point. We thought a lot about democracy and how we can debate our opinions and have differing opinions from one another. But the idea of individual liberty is all around choices. And that we do have the freedom as human beings to make choices of our own and to do what we want within reason. Sometimes it's easy to make those decisions. Sometimes it can be quite challenging to make those decisions. Sometimes we might need people to help us formulate how we're going to make a decision, and sometimes it's really important we make decisions by ourselves. We make decisions in every part of our life all of the time. And today's lesson is actually going to be about choices we make for the future, all around jobs. Now, of course, you're all too young to be working and having jobs, but it's quite nice to have a think about it. Some of you might already know what you might like to do when you're older, and some of you might have no idea. And that's absolutely fine. There's plenty of time to make those choices, but it's nice to have a think about it and maybe how you go about making some of those choices. So on your screen, you'll see there's a picture here that says there are many different jobs that we might decide to do. Some people choose a job because of their interests, and others because they want to live in a certain place, or because they want to work alongside family or friends. For me, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, right from when I was at primary school. And I didn't really change my mind about that. I'm not sure why at the time I wanted to be a primary school teacher, but I think it was probably because I wanted to help others in the same way my teachers helped me. But there are hundreds of thousands of jobs you could choose when you're older. And today's lesson is going to have a little bit of an explore around what kinds of jobs there might be for you to do in the future. So I'm just going to share a screen here and give you a moment just to have a look at what you can see. There's a question, and it says, why do people choose the jobs that they do? You might be familiar with a few things in this image. There's a picture of an ambulance and a sign on the road that says, "Thank you, NHS," with a colourful rainbow heart. And if you've been out and about during the time where schools and our world has been closed down somewhat, you might have seen a lot of these colourful rainbows. And do you know why we've got them? Why are we saying thank you to the NHS at this moment in time? And in fact, during the coronavirus pandemic, actually, it's been a huge increase in the number of people who've requested to want to be part of the NHS, whether that be volunteering and helping, doctors, nurses, huge number of jobs in the NHS. And I think maybe during this time it's helped us all realise that there are lots of important jobs in the world, but right now the NHS are doing an awful lot to help us all. I want you to think about other people that might have been still working during this difficult time, such as delivery drivers, farmers, teachers, hospital staff. Can you think of anyone else who might have been working during this time to help keep our country going? I want you to have a think about what you might want to do when you're older. Everyone is so different. Some people know what they want to do and end up doing that job, and others have no idea but still end up in a job they love, and sometimes people have many jobs over their lifetime. What sort of things do you think help people choose the job that they want to do? There are lots of different jobs for us to consider as we get older, and many different reasons for choosing them. So we're going to pause the video here because the next part of our assembly is going to be in two parts. If you're somebody in early years or Key Stage 1, there's a separate video for you to watch, and some of our older children in Key Stage 2. You're very welcome to watch both videos, but this would be a good opportunity for you to have a think about maybe what you might like to do when you're older. Have you ever even had an opportunity to stop and think about that? And I'd like you to click onto the next video, depending on which age you are, and we will have some further questions about jobs and individual liberty.